Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Fix It Ginger. Today we are going to be making this cute little chick. It is so fun to make this little guy and it's so easy. It's not too complicated. I will help you along the way. So let's jump right in. For this project I used a 9mm crochet hook. You can use any size you want all the way down to a 6mm. It's just a preference. Next you will need some sort of scissors and some sort of yarn needles. Then I use the Bernat Blanket yarn. You're going to need two colors, some for the beak and some for the body. Of course, we can't forget about the eyes and some sort of stitch marker. To start out, you are going to make a magic ring, and I make mine by doing 2 chains, and then you're going to start in the first chain. So you're basically going to insert the hook and you're going to chain 8 in this circle. You're just going to go all the way around. Now that we have 8, we are going to double it to 16. So you're going to chain 2 in every stitch. And then of course, don't forget to put your stitch marker in that first chain. For part 3, you are going to single crochet and then increase. So I like to remember it by going single double in my head, repeating it to myself over and over again all the way around until I get to the other side. For the fourth part, we are done doing our increases, so we are going to single crochet all the way around 3 times. So repeat 3 rows of single crochets. Next, we are going to do our decreases. So we are going to start, I already crocheted 1, but you are going to do 4 single crochets, then a decrease. So I already have 1 there, so there's 2. Then we have our 3rd, and next our 4th. I know people do their decreases a little differently, but we are basically going to go into that chain, see that we have 2 on there. We're going to go into the next stitch and pull the yarn through. And then now that we have 3 on our hook, we are going to pull through all those 3 and then start it again. Then you are just going to repeat it, 4 single crochets, and then a decrease for this entire row. Once that row is complete, we are going to put in his little arms, his little cute little nub arms. So basically, there's not a real calculation or count between the stitches. What I basically do is I squish mine in half and visualize where I want the arms to go. I chained 3 and then I did a bubble stitch. And I did my bubble stitch differently. You could do the normal bubble stitch. I yarned over and I put it through the chain, and then I pulled the yarn through, and I just repeated that one more time to where I had 5 hoops on my hook. Then I just pulled the yarn through, and then I single crocheted all the way to the other side, and I repeated my little bubble stitch. If you don't want to put it in the halfway mark and put his arms a little closer to the front, it's totally up to you. You can do whatever you want. If you did his arms halfway across, this is what it basically should look like. Now this part can get a little tricky with the decreases, so just do your best and follow along. We're still gonna do 4 single crochets and a decrease. I know we technically already did that, but we are going to repeat it again. This is going to help create his unique little shape. Now for the next row, we're going to start counting down our increases. So we're going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around. For this next row, you are going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around, repeating that. 2 single crochets, decrease. This is the last of the decreases, so you're going to do single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, all the way around. Right now his shape kind of resembles a bit of like a dewdrop shape, which is what we're going for. Next you're going to put in the eyes. And this part I kind of eyeballed it. Get it? Okay, that was bad. That was a bad pun. So I usually go between right above the arms is where I generally put the eyes. So that next row right above the arms is where I would put the eyes, and I would put them about 3 stitches apart or 4, depending on how you want it to look like. It just kind of depends what you want. You can do it however you want, or you can do it exactly how I did. Next, just grab a handful of stuffing and stuff the stuffed animal. When you're all done putting stuffing in him, you are going to pull on that stitch and tighten it up. Then you are going to grab your yarn needle, or you can just do this with the crochet hook. This just makes it a little more easier for me. I usually just use my crochet hook. You are going to go into every stitch I like to go in the bottom first. I know I see some people going through like the top, like the middle, but I just like to basically put the needle going bottom first into that outer stitch all around the top. And then once you are done, you are going to pull it tight and cinch it up, sealing the stuffed animal. This is what he looks like so far. So cute, right? We're gonna leave the top string on there for right now. I just usually cut it off at the end. Next, we are going to do the beak. It's not as hard as it looks, I promise. You're basically gonna go right under the eyes. You're gonna stab the needle through. You're gonna take your next to your thread and you're gonna pull it through, creating your loop, and then I just single crochet. right there. And you're gonna go across to the next stitch, and then you're basically just gonna pull the yarn through again, doing another single crochet. You're gonna do it one more time. I don't go that close to his eye, I keep like a stitch away, and then that's the start of his beak. I kind of pull down this so it looks like uniform and there's not like an awkward like two like yarn pieces right there. So that's the start of his beak. Okay, then you are basically going to turn the project around, and you are not going to chain. Don't chain, just go into the next stitch and then go into the next stitch, and that is literally it. There is nothing magical to this. That's all you have to do for his beak. Then you are going to cut the yarn, give yourself a little bit of a tail so you can pull the end of the yarn to meet the beginning of that end of the yarn. I am going to pull this through so I can tie them off and they're in the same stitch. That is so important. Make sure they're both in the same stitch because it's easier to hide. But when I tie this off, it will like pull that row down, as you can see. And then all I do is I basically trim it just a little bit more and I pull those two loops into the stuffed animal. And then you have his beak. It's so easy. It's so simple. It's not too complicated. It's just a couple stitches. And there you go. Next, we are going to do the feet, the whittle feet. They are not hard, I promise. They are just 5 single crochets in a circle, making like a 0. You're basically going to start it out the same way as you did the beak. Here it is, right between the eye and the hand. You're going to pull that yarn through. Make sure to give yourself a bit of a tail here. And then you are going to go straight up 3 single crochets. So there's my first one. There's my second. I'm just going straight up, and I kind of move my yarn over so it doesn't do like an awkward loop where I have like 2 orange yarn sticking out. And then up one more time, a single crochet, and then you're going to come back around. So going down, you're just going to flip it around and then do a single crochet. And then you are going to go in that first stitch and do a single crochet. I can just pull it through here. I'm really struggling. Wow. Okay, let's definitely try that again. So going into the stitch, that first stitch, then you're going to single crochet. And that is your whittle flipper, his whittle feet. Why that's so much fun to say. That is literally it. Then you are going to pull that yarn, give it a little tail, and then you are going to cut it, and then you are going to pull it tight, and you are going to take that tail, the beginning tail, and meet it with the other end of the tail, so I can basically tie it off like we did with the beak. And then I'm going to tie it off, and then cut it again, and then pull it through the project so we hide it. So I'm gonna double tie it here, give it a shorter tail, I'm going to go through the other side of my project and find where I want to pull it through. Right there. And I'm going to take those 2 and then I'm going to pull them into the project. Next, I'm going to take the tail up top and basically trim it and go through the other side of the project with my crochet hook and pull it through. And congratulations, you are all done, but a stuffed animal is not complete without doing the squish test. So much fun, it's so adorable. If you have any ideas for future videos and you would like to see them, definitely leave a comment down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to follow me on Instagram to see updates, go right ahead. If you want to see what I've been making and selling, I also have an Etsy. Thank you for watching and happy crafting!